What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I have a special guest with me. I have Nodi here, a trader at Wealth Group, providing his analysis on the regular. I want to get a little bit of insight on how he's feeling and his approach into how he gets his trading setups. He's absolutely killed it as of recently. Nodi, say what's up.
Hey guys, what's up? Thanks for having me onwards, and always a pleasure to be on your YouTube channel, and looking forward to our talk today.
Absolutely, bro. I appreciate you coming to say what's up to the people, and I know they appreciate your analysis as well as of recently. So explain, man, how do you kill shit? Because that's exactly what you've done recently.
Many people don't know me, but I'm a higher time frame trader, so I try to zoom out, to just use the daily, weekly chart, to ignore all the noise, you know, the headlines and everything, and just to have a clear picture. Is something looking bearish, is something looking bullish? If people like scalping ideas and the lower time frame, I'm probably the wrong guy for that. So my approach could be boring for many people, but that's my style and how I approach markets myself.
Yeah, so how long did it take you to develop your way of perceiving the market, and were you always patient throughout, your process? Because you're as a higher time frame trader right now, like, you have to be patient, and I think you have done an extremely well job of executing that. How long did it take you to get to the point that you're at now, and were you always this patient throughout?
To be honest, I'm in markets since around 6 years, and I would say the first 3 to 4 years are just for making mistakes and losing money, getting liquidated, all the stuff that new people that enter the markets do. That's why I also think these communities like we have in Wealth Group or other communities are so valuable, because mistakes from other people, you can learn so much and your journey gets much quicker. But every mistake is like part of the journey, and I wouldn't be there where I am today if I wouldn't have made all these steps, So I think everyone has to go through these phases, and now after 5-6 years I can say that, okay, I can ignore the noise. I know when to go risk on and risk off. But as I said, it needs a lot of time, and it needs a lot of mistakes. But that's the beauty in these communities that we have, so we can all learn from each other.
The communities are much needed in this space. It helps not only excel your learning process, but also gives you a good sense of community. Whenever things feel like they aren't, alive anymore in the market, at least people are still here. We know people are here. They're actively working, looking to improve, set the standard, and really formulate their own strategy. So, without the mistakes you would have made, it wouldn't have turned you into the trader you are today. And I completely agree with that. Is there one thing that you can tell traders out there that can help them maybe perceive that in a way so they don't make those mistakes?
Yeah, well, first of all, I think everyone needs to find his own style, because my style just came to me because it fits my situation, okay? Everyone has a unique situation in life. Mistakes that I see over and over again from members, from friends, from family, whoever, is they have no patience. They need to overtrade. They need the euphoria all the time, and they want to be in a trade. They can't stay in cash and let the market come to them. You know what I mean? This is often the wrong approach, because you will risk too much. You will sell in panic, and you need to take a step back. Sometimes less is more. People also, for example, if you are in loss, people tend to think, oh, my position is down 10%. I can't sell now, because selling in red is the hardest thing. Buying is so easy, psychological, but selling is so hard, and then people tend to think, okay, I will sell break even whenever I get there, but they never go to break even again. So a small paper cut loss becomes a big loss, and these big losses, to recover from them, it can take months or even years. I experienced it myself. So my suggestion for everyone is keep your losses as small as possible, because we all will take them. We all will take losses every month. It's part of the game.
I tend to agree with you on a lot of things, other than, I like to trade intraday a lot, which obviously if I was a lot more patient in my approach, it'd be a lot less stressful right now. I do think that there's opportunity everywhere in this market. The question I have for you is, what do you do on a daily basis to formulate your plays? Take me through a morning in the life of Nodi.
Okay, well, to be honest, I don't have a fixed routine or a fixed metric that I look at every day, because as I said, I'm a higher time frame guy, so movements on the daily and weekly charts, they need a lot of time to change the market structure at all. So I don't have to check really the price. Of course, I check it when I wake up. It doesn't change my opinion on the market for now, because it will take many months and weeks to change the whole structure from bear market to bull market and so on. I think important to understand is, are we in the bull market or are we in the bear market? This is the most important questions that people need to understand, and the sooner they understand it, the better. What I wanted to show is, people need to understand, are we in a bullish structure or in a bearish structure? Everyone watches charts differently, I'm totally aware of that, but you can keep it simple. You can draw one trend line, it got broken here around 100k. You can use metrics like the 50-week EMA that got respected the whole bull market, it got also lost. So you have two confluences that could suggest, hey, we are in a bear market. Don't hold spot positions, don't hold altcoins. Look rather for shorts instead of longs, okay? And we are making lower highs and lower lows. So everyone by now should understand that we are in a bear market. But people don't want to hear that. People want to hear bullish news, okay? That always sells better than bearish news. But if you look at it without emotions, it gets pretty clear. And by the time that everyone realizes that we are in a bear market, by that time probably the change will start and we will bottom and we will go to the upside again.
Yeah, I think you break it down pretty straight to the point there, and hard to not realize exactly where things are right now. So my question is, where do you think we are in the current market cycle right now? You think we're close to the lows?
Yeah, I think we are at the latest stage of the bear market, okay? That's the good news. The bad news is I think that we have another leg lower. Well, for me it's a good news because I'm short, but for many people, especially retail, it's probably bad news. And what I like to look at is Bitcoin's history. I mean, everyone knows Bitcoin's 4-year pattern, but nobody wants to believe in it, that it repeats. And everyone will tell you that this time is different. And again, it wasn't different. And it's insane. If you look here, we had 1-year bear market, 3-year bull market, again, 1-year bear market, 3-year bull market. We topped in Q4 like every cycle. And probably we will bottom again in Q4 this year, let's say between August and November. So for me, most of the damage is done, most of the downtrend is finished, but I think we could have another leg lower. That's also good news because this could be one of the biggest buying opportunities since 3 or 4 years. I think we have exciting times ahead.
I tend to agree with the 4-year cycle as well. I think that personally we're going to go down into the 50K region. So is that where you would suggest we land? I think around those wicks is a good spot.
Yeah, exactly. I also marked my arrow here. That's between 40 and 50K. Probably below 60, below 55. I will just start DCAing. If I see some capitulation, then I will start buying heavier, and nobody will time the perfect bottom. This doesn't matter. Important is that you are allocated. If the music starts again, that you have enough exposure. And another metric that is really helpful for me, I think I showed it last time when I was here. It's the Bitcoin realized price band. Now we are coming closer to the blue zone, and the blue zone indicates that most people that hold Bitcoin are in losses or are selling in losses. And this means there are few people left that can dump on you. And you want to have this ratio, because if you are here in the orange zone, it means that most people are sitting in profit. And if most people are sitting in profits, they could dump it on you at any time. So the risk reward is not so good. So this is probably one of the best metrics on TradingView. It's free. Everyone can search it and use it. The blue zone is currently also between 54K and 40K. So as you said, this area is very attractive. If you reach it, which I think, don't overthink it. Just start allocate yourself.
I love the breakdowns you give, because these are things that anybody can look at and anybody can understand and realizes if they, add it as their confluence. And I believe confluence is everything. So what attracted you to trading like on the macro over trading intraday?
To be honest, I also started intraday trading when I was when I was new, but I realized it takes so much time. I'm not so good in it. So that also doesn't fit my private life because I don't know, I like to do also other stuff. That's why I realized, okay, I need to find an approach that fits my life, my hobbies and so on. Macro trading was something very interesting for me also because I started studying macroeconomics, like how is global liquidity looking, what is the dollar doing, what is oil doing, how is everything correlated, because everything impacts asset markets. At the end, asset markets rise mainly because global liquidity is rising and because currencies are getting debased. So your dollar, my currencies, everything is falling in value, and therefore assets like Bitcoin or the S&P 500 have to go up only.
So are you a heavy investor in Bitcoin, or do you allocate to altcoins? I see you active in the stock market channel as well. So what do you like to allocate your capital to?
So I like to keep it a bit separate, like long-term investments. For example, an world ETF or an S&P 500, things like that. I like to buy once a month for many years, okay? This just runs and runs and runs. Also gold is something like that I like to buy on a regular basis without looking at it, without checking the price. It just runs. After 5 or 10 years, maybe I want to cash out something or whatever. But for active trading, I was of course bearish on crypto, so I haven't bought any crypto next to the short. For stocks are running hot. So we tried on a stock channel every day to find some interesting setups. The stocks are very overpriced by now. Retail is heavy involved. Everything is running a bit hot, so it's not really the time now for long-term buys on some stocks. Of course, I hold some, but I would say my cash position is bigger than my stock position because I like to be ready in case that we see some correction, which we will see pretty sure at some point again.
So for the people that like your analysis, what are you looking at for the next 6 to 12 months when it comes to opportunities?
Well, I think while crypto is now very oversold and retail has zero interest in crypto, everything is focused on stocks currently. I think this ratio will change again in the coming months, and you want to be in a train that is empty and not full, and the stock train for me is pretty full now. I think crypto will deliver one of the best opportunities since years, and I'm not really a fan of altcoins, to be honest. Of course you have some altcoins that are strong and interesting, like hyperliquid. Many people are using it. You can trade stocks 24/7. They are very interesting. But overall, I like to keep it very simple. Ethereum is always a good bet, and I will for sure allocate most of my money in Bitcoin. And I think a great bet is also crypto stocks like Robinhood or Coinbase or Circle. Things like that have an amazing upside, and you don't have to take the risk of an altcoin. So it's like a balanced mix from Bitcoin and altcoin. You have good upside and middle risk, I would say. So I think it makes sense to combine Bitcoin with, let's say, 2 crypto stocks and maybe 1 altcoin as smaller allocation. And yeah, I think this year we will see great opportunities there.
Whenever there's great opportunity, there's a lot of hysteria in the market. So a lot of people are holding, a lot of greedy people out there. How do you interpret a top is in or coming close, and how do you go about taking profit?
It depends, of course, where the market stands. But as I said earlier, let's say we were here in Q4 last year, and then you see that Bitcoin, which is the major index and rules whole crypto, is losing K trend line or K moving average, or even this fake out here tries to break its all-time high and it falls back below. That's a false breakout, and these are one of the most powerful setups. So if you see something like this, you have to sell, because you can still buy back higher if the chart says to you, okay, the structure is good, we are bullish. But these are the warning signs: a failed breakout or losing of a moving average, losing of a trend line, making lower highs, lower lows. These are all the confluences that you have to look at to say, hey, I need to go out of the market, it's getting too risky. Yeah, often people see it too late, but I guess that's part of the risk that we take in the market.
You've been absolutely killing stuff lately. You have a short right now from what, 82K region?
Yes, the first one was from 97, then a new one from 80.
And when you enter these short swing positions, are you entering fully one position with an invalidation? Are you entering with 10 bids, 100 bids, slowly scaling? How do you usually execute these swing positions that you take?
If I take my short from here, for example, then we lost the line and then we approach the line again. So, the risk reward of shorting here is becoming good. And many people like to split their bids in like 10 bids from the smallest to the biggest. But I don't like to do that because this often leads to your winner being small and your loser being big, because your winner maybe has just one fill, which is the smallest fill, and your loser takes all the fills and then gets stopped. That's why I try to split into two areas, 50% let's say at 97 and 50% at 103, for example. If I want to short 100k, then I split one below and one above. Here I did the same. I had like 77k as a short and 83k as a short in a 50-50% split instead of just shorting 80k. Yeah, that's how I approached my entries.
Yeah, I mean, it's all subjective. Execution in this market is everything. You can have the most perfect analysis, and if you don't execute that exact situation at the time you're supposed to execute it, it all means nothing at the end of the day. So when you get asked certain questions, or let's say you see a new trader trying to learn, what should traders spend more time learning on right now? If they're trying to up their game, they want to learn about the markets.
What I noticed recently is a member asked me a few days ago, "Hey Nodi, what's up? Why is the market going down?" I think the stock market had like a 1% dip, 2% dip. And I said like, nothing, it's just a normal behavior. Everything that goes up has to come down. But people get so used to it that, for example, the stock market had 10 green weeks in a row that they get so nervous if they don't see green anymore. And that's totally the wrong approach. You have to accept that markets will go down, that you will see corrections, you will hit stop losses. But I think you have to manage your emotions, your FOMO, your greed. Are you selling because of panic, or are you selling because the chart is not looking bullish anymore, because it lost a K level? Also, with taking profits, people struggle to take profits, and profits are just profits if you take them. Because if you don't take them, someone else will take them for you. And I made the mistakes over and over again. I sent screenshots to friends, look how many gains I made with this trade, just to round trip at the end. And this is a process that everyone will go through, but that's why I want to mention it again, because it's so important. Profits are only your profits if you sell it, and if you don't take them, someone else will take them. At the end, it's all PvP.
Yeah, I think that's all great advice, and that really answers like my last question there was, what advice would you give to traders struggling in the current market conditions? You have a really good approach to your analysis. You've absolutely killed things lately. Where can people find your analysis and your presence, brother?
On X, everyone can find me as Nodi Macro. I try to update a few things here and there, post some charts, some ideas. But of course, my main work is at Wealth Group, full ideas, full outlooks, and answering questions there every day. So yeah, everyone can find me there.
A lot of useful gems, bro. I'm sure we're going to have a lot more of your analysis. I want to have you on for a macro breakdown of things. Your charting has been beyond useful lately, brother. Killing shit, so keep on doing that. And until next time, bro, I'll see you later.
Thanks for having me, and have a good day, guys. Bye-bye.